Hi there everyone, and welcome to another Pokemon Ultramoon Wi-Fi battle. And this is a fun battle I had against the Twitch streamer oGewchy. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that absolutely incorrectly, but that's how I read it when I look at it. Anyway, we're looking at his team there, and we see it is a powerful OU team. I did tell him I'd like to do a mixed OU. Of course, Milotic and Incineroar are not OU. My opponent is an avid VGC player, apparently. But he was accepting battles of any kind, and I did request a OU mixed. So this is what we had, and this is how it goes. His team is certainly powerful. Even though Incineroar is not as powerful in singles, it is still a pretty powerful Pokemon. And Milotic, of course, is always fantastic. As he leads off with Incineroar, which I had a feeling he would, hoping to fake out my Smeargle. But I decide to lead off with Kira. And even though I am intimidated, I cannot be faked out. I cannot be flinched, that is, when I Mega Evolve. And here I decide to bulk up, negating that Intimidate, as he switches into his Celesteela, the annoying wall. But Celesteela, being a Steel and Flying type, is neutral to fighting moves, so I will go for a Fighting type move and see how much damage I can do. As yes, we do bulk up here, bringing us back up to neutral attack and +1 in defense, so that's always good. And now we let loose with Drain Punch. How much will it do? And unfortunately it doesn't do that much, only does about a third, as he does get off that Leech Seed. Very annoying. But now I'm thinking, right, even though Leech Seed will be doing damage to me, I can restore my HP if I keep Drain Punching. So let's go for another bulk up, power ourselves up, and then we can just keep punching this thing. And then the Leech Seed won't matter. But unfortunately he does switch. And brings in that damn Landorus. Having 2 Intimidators on his team, it does not look good for me. However, I did go for another bulk up, so I am at +2 defense and neutral attack right now. So I should be able to take out the Landorus with an Ice Punch. And it should not be able to kill me with an Earthquake. But annoyingly he switches and goes into Celesteela. My opponent here is a bit of a switcher, I find out, and that just means things are going to be pretty damn annoying for me. We do little damage to the Celesteela as it restores its damn HP. So I'm thinking, right, I need to keep Kira alive. He is very important, super effective against those 2 Intimidators. And considering how slow Celesteela is, at only base 60 something speed I believe, I can bring in Smeargle and hopefully start setting up some entry hazards. We see that Celesteela does have the Flamethrower. Celesteela is a very strange Pokemon, getting access to Grass and Fire moves. Grass I can understand, considering it looks a bit like Bamboo and it's based off the legend of Kaguya. But I'm not sure why it gets Fire moves. As yes, I decide to go for the Spore, of course, putting anything to sleep. He had no Grass type, so I didn't have to worry, as in comes the Incineroar, and that is great news. And looking at his team, he has 3 Flying types and 1 Fire type, all of which don't particularly like Stealth Rock. And they don't particularly care about the Sticky Web because they're flying and Incineroar is slow anyway. So I get up the Stealth Rock, which is pretty sexy, and then I go for the Parting Shot, lower this thing's offenses, so it is going to be very non-threatening. And now that this Incineroar has been neutered, I decide to bring in Kira, knowing I should be able to hit it pretty hard. As much as I'd like to go for a bulk up here, I think I would like to just do as much damage as I can, so I go for the Drain Punch hoping he doesn't switch, but undamn fortunately he does switch, and goes into Landorus, intimidating me, and my Drain Punch not being super effective here does very little damage, but it does give me a bit of HP back. Brings me back over 100, which is nice, but yes, not much I can do here, so let's switch out, unfortunately, and bring back in the Smeargle, hopefully as Death Fodder. As yes, he does go straight on the offense here, and pivots. But luckily for me, he does take my Smeargle out, which means he will be forced to switch into something before I am. So I can see what he's going to switch in, and it is the Incineroar. And that's good for me. I can bring in my Kira once again. And now, considering how much this guy has been switching, I'm going to have to predict his switch here and go for the Ice Punch. As yes, we do see he does switch and brings in the Landorus. Beautiful. And every time he does switch, he is taking damage, which is fantastic for me. And I am intimidated, but at 165 base attack, the 4 times effective Ice Punch easily takes out the Landorus. And finally, one of his Intimidators goes down. Now in comes the Zapdos, and I know there's not a whole lot I can do here. I could bulk up. I don't think Zapdos can hurt me that much. I can take Thunderbolts for days. But considering I'm already at -1 attack, I will switch out into Nelly the Elephant. He's probably going to defog as well, so if I can just get rid of this thing's item, that would be ideal. As actually, oh my luck, we see he goes for the Electric Z move. I was so close to staying in with Gallade as well, but if I had, Gallade would have gone down. As out comes the Electric Z move, doing nothing to Nelly the Elephant. We actually see the Hidden Power Ice here, so I guess this is a more offensive Zapdos. Now, I fully expected him to switch out here, so I went for the Earthquake, and as we all know, he roosted. And what Roost does is that it lowers Flying-type Pokemon to the ground so they can be affected by Earth attacks or ground attacks. So, absolutely fantastic. I fully expected him to switch out here, thinking there wasn't much that he could do to my Nelly. And, wow, I Earthquaked a Zapdos. That is not something you see every day. Good job. As in comes Celesteela. And now, I'm very happy to go for a knockoff on the Celesteela and knock off its damn leftovers. Get rid of as much passive recovery on this thing as we can. And we do nice damage. Now, I wasn't sure what I should do here. I'm hoping he doesn't Leech Seed again. But yeah, the only thing I can do really is knock off, so I will switch. And I'll bring in Volcarona. Luckily for me, he did go straight on the offense. Perhaps figuring he needs to start doing damage as opposed to simply switching. But with Volcarona in here, I can go for the Quiver Dance. Even though it would be annoying if he Leech Seeded me, Quiver Dance will make me become powerful, but luckily for me he does switch straight out into his Milotic. And even though Milotic is water type, I do have the Giga Drain to do super effective damage, and with my +1 in special defense I shouldn't be taking too much damage from a Milotic. I'd be worried if it was a Z-move Milotic, but simply with Scald, with my +1 in defense that doesn't even do half. So, excellent for me. My opponent here getting quite worried, as in comes Incineroar once again. But with our Stealth Rock up, this thing is taking 25% damage with each switch. And as it is asleep, it can't do much to me. I Giga Drain again, of course, expecting Milotic to be there. But even though it is Incineroar, I do get some nice recovery off it. And at the low HP Incineroar's at now, I'm able to go for a nice Bug Buzz and finish it off. Bug Buzz, of course, being neutral because Incineroar is fire and dark. So yes, things are starting to look good. In comes the Kommo-o. And unfortunately for me, I was paranoid for some reason that this thing would have the Z move. I was like, oh crap, I don't want it to get a Z move. None of Volcarona's attacks are very effective against it, so I'm gonna have to switch out. I go into Titania. And yes, silly me, he'd already used the Z move on the Zapdos, so I had nothing to fear. But I was expecting him to go for a Dragon Dance or a Poison move there, so I'm like, right, I'm gonna switch out, because Kommo-o is powerful, and considering how much this guy switches, he's probably gonna switch anyway. And he did. He switched out into his Celesteela as I brought in my Volcarona. I was very tempted to go for the Quiver Dance, but no, I decided, let's just finish off that annoying Celesteela while we can. And we did get the special attack boost off the Fiery Dance. Now that I've realized that this Kommo-o is not the Z move, I figure I should be able to do decent damage with my not very effective, but boosted attacks. I go for the Quiver Dance, raise all my stats, which is great, as he goes for Clanging Scales. which we live comfortably thanks to our special defense boost. I am unable to restore HP though, but I will go for my strongest move here. Well, it's not my strongest, but it does give me a chance of raising my special attack. As out comes another clanging scales. We are just able to live on 4 HP, which is fantastic for me. And I know that another Fiery Dance will take out the Como at this range. So good job, Amaterasu. And we do get a third special attack boost. My opponent brings in his last Pokemon Milesec. He's like, right, I hope I can live a Giga Drain. I'm like, seems you forgot I'm +3. As he actually gets his health recovered. So yes, he was really hoping he could live a Giga Drain, but he then says, didn't realise you were at +3, yeah, I'm not living that. And that was a very good game. He also mentioned, oh, actually, after the battle, he said, oh, I think this is my doubles team. Oh, silly me. But yes, a very good battle. He almost had me with his dual Intimidators constantly switching, but thanks to some predictions, I was able to win the match. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed.